But I also received some questions last video about my glasses. What brand these are. They're not a brand. It's like literally a no-name brand. It's like 40 bucks. I got them at one of the glasses shops here in South Korea. So I can't tell you which brand it is because honestly, I don't know. I think one of the hard parts about a toxic relationship is the fact that we generally want a good relationship with that person. And that's, it could be your parents, your brother or sister, your friend. And we so much want a great relationship with that person that we tend to sacrifice our own well-being, our own mental health, to maintain that relationship, to stay in that relationship, to not lose it, because we're afraid of burning that bridge. But that's what makes it toxic. You end up giving up yourself in order to keep this relationship that isn't good for you. And on the other side, the other person, toxic people know that. I mean, they may not acknowledge it, like, yeah, I know you are weak and I'm taking advantage of you. They may not say it that way, but maybe like subconsciously, they know that they have that power over you. And they exploit that power. And that's where the toxic relationship forms is, one, you have weakness, emotionally or whatever. You have some sort of weakness, particularly for that person. It may be based on love. It may be based on, desire. It may be based on your own insecurities, whatever. And it takes the other party to know that you have that problem and to exploit that position of power over you. So understanding that, I was in that position. I was in a relationship where that person had power over me. And I remember, dude, I used to get, it was an emotional roller coaster. And it wasn't even due to hair loss. Hair loss was a catalyst for my, fuck it. And I think everybody has that fuck it moment. That might be you getting tired of your job. And, one day you just like, your boss is bragging on you and your coworkers, is being an asshole. Your computer's acting on the fritz. And that day, you're just like, fuck it, right? You just get up and quit. Hopefully you don't hurt anybody on your way out. But you know what I'm talking about. You just had that fuck it moment. And I had that fucking moment. I had that catalyst of change. And that's really what brought me to South Korea in 2014. I mean, I was like, fuck it, I'm out. And I literally left the United States with 2 suitcases and came to South Korea. And I have not, with the exception of 1 year during 2020, coronavirus and stuff. Besides that, I have been in Korea for the last almost 8 years. And dude, I am the happiest I have ever been in my entire life. And the happiness is not based on material things. It's not based on money. I ain't rich. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't rich. My wife and I, we live a pretty low-key, minimalist life. Got another car coming? Yeah. We live a pretty low-key life. We don't consume a lot in terms of like buying things, clothes, cars. Fuck that, dude. We don't do that. Now, I'm not saying I'm a fucking monk, eating a few grains of rice a day. No. But look at where I live. I live out in the country. Even though I think I'm gonna have to move back to the city because my daughter's turning 4, or 4? Damn, I forgot my daughter's. No, she's turning 4 this year, and so she's gonna be going into school, and I want to be in the city because there's just more resources for education in the city. So, but we're out in the country. And when I left the States, man, that's what I was like, I'm out. Y'all want to be that way. You want to be that way. I'm not going to let you control my life anymore. So the first thing I recommend to anybody who's dealing with a toxic relationship is to first identify that you are in a toxic relationship. Think about or reflect on the way that person makes you feel when you're with them. Do you feel drained after meeting that person? And I don't mean drained like, you guys laugh so much and you drink so much that, you're just fucking worn out the next day. I'm not talking about that kind of drained. I mean like emotionally drained, like your emotional gas tank, your ability to feel empathy, your ability to help others really has been maxed out. You don't have it in you. If you feel that way after spending any considerable amount of time with a person, that's one of the hallmarks of a toxic relationship. It's toxic. It poisons you. All right. And I'm not trying to sound spiritual or anything like that, but I mean, honestly, that's what a toxic relationship is. A person basically is draining you of your ability to feel empathy for others. They're draining you of your ability to take care of your mental health. Okay. And there's so many ways that they do this. And I can only speak from my own experience, but maybe they belittle you, maybe they make you feel guilty. Narcissists are really bad at this, uh, or rather good at this, I should say, at making you feel like you're the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the reason why shit hit the fan. You're the reason why they are having problems. Uh, and so don't fall into that trap of, them making you feel guilty firstly, okay? Everybody is responsible for their own mental health. Everybody is responsible for their own happiness. Now, you may be in circumstances where, whether financially or whatever, you can't escape currently. You can't escape it. But understand, first step is to identify that you're in a relationship like that. The second thing to do is you need to establish boundaries. Okay, now that boundary for me was literally coming to South Korea, 8,000 miles away from my hometown. Okay, I'm not telling you to take those extremes. However, boundaries can be anything. They can be physical boundaries. Maybe move into your own apartment if you have the economic resources to do that. Maybe it is, and it's really hard if you live together, if it's a parent or a guardian, just because there is that social aspect of power over you, and you're not able to physically leave the house. But remove yourself, go to your room. If you're in that position where you live with them and you have a room, go to your room. Don't slam the door and say, "Oh, I hate you, mom." Like, no, don't do that. Like, be respectful. Take time out. Take time out. That's a boundary. Go to your space, listen to some music, read a book. Try to stay away from social media during those times where you're emotionally drained. I find that social media tends to exacerbate that feeling of that moment of weakness. It tends to amplify that. So avoid social media if you can. That's not a good way to deal or to kind of take your mind off of a toxic relationship. But the best thing to do really is to remove yourself from the situation. I think the hardest part is making that decision, because it's not an easy decision to make. You're going to feel guilty. They're going to make you feel guilty. Like they're gonna, there you go, running away again. Like you always run away from problems or something. They're gonna say something. Don't fall for the guilt trip, guys. All right, you don't need a ticket to that trip. Okay, take a ticket to South Korea. Come to South Korea, hit me up. We'll sit down over a beer or over some coffee or something, and we'll talk it out. But don't let them guilt trip you into staying in that relationship. Okay, this goes especially for like girlfriends and boyfriends. Okay, for me, I've been traveling my whole life as a military brat, so moving wasn't a big issue for me. If anything, I welcomed the opportunity to come to South Korea. Okay, but coming to South Korea, guys, it was literally the best thing that ever happened in my life. It was almost like, you opened the door to opportunity, and I walked through. Okay, I walked through. Like I said, I'm not rich. I didn't come out here to be rich, but I'm not financially rich, economically rich. I am like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, not even talking about religion, just spiritually rich. Is it always great? No, I still deal with my demons. I'm still going through moments where I do feel weak and I have to, center myself again. But it's so much easier when you're in a place where you don't have to be constantly bombarded with the negativity and the toxic people that are in your life. All right, so that's the second thing, setting the boundary. And the third thing to do really is to surround yourself with people who genuinely care about you. I'm gonna make a video, probably after this video, about family versus friends and how blood is not always thicker than water, okay? Sometimes family is just that, they're family. But I don't subscribe to the thinking that a person, just because you have blood connection, is necessarily, you're obligated to entertain them, to maintain a relationship with them. Fuck that, all right? Family is literally that. It's a title. It's a social construct. Now, okay, again, there are limits there, okay? Don't tell your grandma to go fuck off. Your grandma, if she's toxic, don't tell grandma to fuck off. Be respectful, guys. But again, going back to number 2, set your boundaries. Surround yourself with positive people. Coming to South Korea, I was able to I didn't find them, they found me. People who entered my life, and the relationship blossomed. It was something I never looked for. It just happened. I put myself in a situation where I had opportunities to meet people, and I met them. They came into my life, and to be honest with you, my relationship with them is leaps and bounds stronger and deeper and more wholesome and more invigorating and energizing than probably almost all of my familiar relationships. And I think that says a lot. I think that says a lot when it comes to the value that society places on family. And this is coming from a guy who's in South Korea, where family is literally the cornerstone of the human experience. Confucianistic culture dictates that family is like the first and foremost. But fortunately, I'm not Korean, so I understand that thinking, but I don't fully subscribe to that line of thought where family is king. Fuck that, dude. Look, sometimes friends can be like family. Okay, and I really am looking forward to talking about that in my next video. Hopefully I can interview some of my friends and bring them on the video to kind of share their experience dealing with me as well. But that's really the thing I want to talk about, guys, is the third key is to surround yourself with people who lift you up, who fill up that gas tank, who fill up that emotional gas tank and leave you wanting to achieve more. Not necessarily being rich. I'm not saying achieve more to be rich. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. But I mean, achieve more as a human. Like that you should be able to carry your head high when you're with them. You should be able to carry your head even higher when you're without them, because you know that you have the support of that person. And they're always going to be there to support you, right? So again, just to recap, because I have to go way over my time limit here. I got an appointment I gotta go to. First thing, identify the toxic relationship. How do you feel after you spend time with that person? Do you feel better or worse? Okay, and don't judge this on a one experience. Like literally over a period of time, judge how you feel after you meet with that person. Second, set and keep and make them respect your boundaries. Boundaries can be physical, they can be emotional. You can tell them, hey, I don't want to deal with you like that. Maybe you got to end the relationship. If it's a boyfriend or girlfriend, maybe it's time to break up. Okay, and again, don't fall into the trap of the guilt trip. Okay, because they will try to give you the guilt trip. All right, because they think, or rather they know, until that point they had power over you, and losing power is crippling for some people. They don't want to lose the power, and that can go we can talk about how they lack power in other areas, so they want to implement that power into the relationship with you. So that's a completely different discussion. So definitely set your boundaries. And thirdly, surround yourself with people who lift you up and who are positive. Okay, there's no right or wrong way to do that, and don't actively look for them. All right, these people just kind of enter your life. That's not to say you can't find friends on, online and do online meetups and then build a relationship that way. But more importantly, put yourself in a situation where you have opportunities to meet people. Leave your house, join some clubs, go to grad school, go to university. I don't know, do something to put yourself in a position where you have opportunities to meet good people. And when those good people enter your life, nurture that relationship. Hold up your end of the bargain. Don't make other people suffer for the transgressions of the people that came before them. Okay, don't be guarded. A lot of times people kind of close off and they're afraid to open up to people because of past experiences. I'm guilty of that in some ways. Don't do that. You got to be open, and you'll find that when you meet the right people or person, that it's beautiful. All right, and that's your real family, and that's a great relationship.